Hang on. Where'd my sender go?
I don't know.
Later! Welcome to Tech Talk with JP Squared and Nicole, intern.
We'll just rip a little while people log on.
Who's on right now? Is anyone even watching this? Or does no one like us?
Oh, flipped you, Cole. Hey, Dave.
Oh, Tyler, what's up?
Cole. Oh. Hi, Terry.
Who? Kelly.
Oh, Cole, you can't catch me. Oh, I'm stuck.
This is how we get ready for real wheeling trips. This is
pre-running.
Oh,
he's done.
Jeff's stuffing me. Jeff's stuffing me.
Stalker's in the way.
Oh, no. So we do have an itinerary for today, correct?
We do.
Some kind of...
The itinerary is me passing Jeff.
So after we're done racing little guys, a couple minutes, we're going to do a kind of update on my Jeep. We've done a lot of changes to it in the last 6 months ago we started.
Probably, yeah.
With TJ Tracer suspension, then I blew my engine at Johnson Valley. So
it's a frequent thing for us.
yeah, it happens. So we put a V8 in it, and it just kind of escalated from there. So we're going to go into that.
After we rip.
After I pass Cole again.
I already lost you.
You're not going to pass me.
I'm going to pass.
Oh!
You're done.
I'm on the lid. Sorry.
Oh, we're both done. All right. Maybe we should actually get into it.
I got to finish my lap.
All right.
Jeff, start them off.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff. I'm taking over Tech Talk today. Thanks for joining us. Tech Talk, something we do every Tuesday and Thursday. Tony's gone today, so me and Jordan are taking over.
Yeah.
Yep. And what else? What we got here?
The better
I got my
looking
cheat sheet.
Tech Talk crew.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, every Tuesday and Thursdays we do a Tech Talk and we talk about our favorite subjects: Jeeps and race cars.
Yep.
And little guys.
And little guys.
Yep. So today, we're ripping little guys, talking about my Jeep, Blue Banshee, and Jordan's going to give us a little update of his race car and talk about some cool stuff he's been doing.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just some cool stuff.
For now.
Yep. We do have a couple featured products today. First one, we'll go into it more when we do a walk around my Jeep because they're actually on the Jeep, not on the table. But we do have JLU lock and loads available now. So if you guys aren't familiar with these, they mount on your tub rails. I'll kind of show you on my walk around. And they give you a place to hook stuff to so you can tie everything down secure and back.
And can you run those with the soft or hard top still? I don't remember.
With the soft top, not the hard top.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
You actually can run them with the hard top. We confirmed that today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Just on the JL, right?
On the JO, yeah, you can run them on top of the hard top.
Like on the
okay, so
inside.
yes.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So, yeah, I guess we'll start talking about my Jeep.
Yeah.
Give us a little backstory on your Jeep.
Little backstory on my Jeep. So, it's gone through a lot of builds. I've had it since 2006, 2007. I guess it's been a trailer queen for a little while, but it's fine to drive on the street. But it's been through about 5 renovations, and the last 6 months, I think we got it about 95% done. I still have to do front shocks, but we'll kind of go into all that. All right, and if you have any questions or comments during this, just shout them out, but make sure that you include your year, make, model, so we can better address your question.
Definitely helps.
Yeah. Featured products. I guess I'm a little late on the slides. That's what it looks like now after all of us pitched in over the last 6 months and got it back together.
Yeah.
So we went with an entire new dash, whole new
Close it
center
all.
console, redid everything when I took out the 4.0 and the 6-speed transmission, and we put in a 5.3 and a turbo 400 with reverse manual valve body. So it's a totally different animal now. And we did it. We stripped it down on the driveway, which was
At your house.
which was fun.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a little less than ideal, but
Yeah,
it worked.
we got it to the shop and we got it done. But I think at this point I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do? How am I gonna get it to the shop?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
we
that was the
figured out.
biggest question. Is like, okay, now that it's completely disabled, how do we move it?
Yeah, which we did. Richard Garrett helped out. We got it here.
Yeah.
The hard parts are lifting that engine into the truck. Remember?
That was exciting. The ratchet
was
straps
exciting.
on the awning over the garage. That was
we had about
extremely
4 ratchet
sketchy.
straps on them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna drop and break all our concrete.
Oh my God.
It was fine. It
And our
worked.
toes.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily I was in the truck. I was playing it smart way. Everybody else was underneath it, pushing it up. What else we do? So we start, once we got it to the shop, I had to do more grinding than I've ever done in my life because we had to get all the old mounts off, everything. We went with the Novak engine mounts, which worked out well, but I wanted to clean everything up from factory, all the old suspensions that I've been through over the
Yeah.
past 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So it was a good chance to clean
It's a
that
good
up.
time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was never going to go back to do it if I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
So here's a shot after we got the engine in. So we went with the DEI tunnel shield. I put it on the firewall and under the transmission tunnel. So I really can hardly feel any heat during driving.
Which helps a lot.
A lot of people do the V8 swaps and they overlook that and they complain about how hot their feet are.
Yeah.
So far, so good. That's where I mounted most of my electronics. So the top one is the Switch Pros Force 12. That we did it completely standalone in my Jeep. So we got rid of all the factory wiring, computer. So the engine management's the Holley Terminator system. And then every accessory is controlled by my Switch Pros.
Yeah.
And then my lights and blinkers is a separate module from RaceWire Solutions. So we didn't have to mess with any of the factory stuff, trying
Yeah.
to get that to work with something else. So
Yeah, which honestly, for Jeeps, wheelers like this, like that's the best way to do it. You don't want to mess
Yeah.
with trying to, pick apart a factory harness, unless it comes as like a kit. Like I know the Bruiser kits and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like that is a legit kit. But when you're doing it like this, the way you did it, I think the way you did it was the best way.
It is, especially if I'm not trying to drive it on the street.
Totally.
So, and this is pretty much kind of how Terremoto did his.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Tony did that.
Yep.
So
Just
that
start
worked out
fresh.
well. What else we got? This is still during the disassembly on the driveway. So it was I think at this point I just sat down. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? There's way more to it than I ever thought. But you just got to keep cutting out wires and keeping the back.
Eventually things will start coming out.
Yeah, get it pretty bare.
Yeah.
And it helps going with a complete standalone system because you literally can't mess this up.
You can cut wherever you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Like if it's not pulling through, snip it all, get it from the other side.
He's got his bolt cutters in there, cutting his
man,
wiring
I was
harness.
cutting stuff I had no idea even what it
Oh
was.
my God.
So, what else we got? This was the first prototype of the dash. We made a few modifications, and now the production version's in there, and we'll get to that later. But as you can see, the dash goes together super easy. There's a little inner brace in there, so everything's super secure, and it ties into the same spot that the factory dash does, right below your windshield frame.
Yeah.
So.
Which that's super similar to the Terremoto dash. Like just
Yeah.
looking at it, looking at the inside, it's almost identical.
Yeah.
So that's
I
cool.
think the big difference is that our center console and our dash are two separate pieces on the TJYJ.
Correct. Yeah.
LJ.
I think that's better. It just lets you take things apart separately.
It
If you
does.
need to work on something in the console, it's easy.
I know when the rugged guys were here, they were super after they got done tuning Terremoto, they were super happy mine was kind of like this.
Yeah.
So they could get around.
Yeah.
What else we got? This was installing, I used to have kind of a homemade suspension where I used my Rubicon Express belly up and I made a 3 and 4 link out of it. Well, it's a Rubicon Express belly up, so I came down on it hard, it bent the whole thing and pushed my transmission into my tub.
I was gonna say, wasn't your yoke hitting the bottom of the? Because you were like, what is that noise? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I think you got something going on down there.
I definitely did. Well, on 24 hours of hell and back, it was like that because I think I knew I was going about a week before I was going. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
send it as is. We have a lot of trips like that.
Like, it'll be
actually.
fine.
Yeah.
It does. It
made
happens more frequently than it probably should, and people
Yeah.
would think. But hey,
well,
we get through it.
We do. We got through.
We get through it.
So when we came back,
Quick question. Corey Picard asked, can they do a standalone system on a 2013 JK with an LS swap? They're going to have our aluminum dash and center console with a full Holley system.
Yeah.
yeah, that whole full Howie system would be the standalone system.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to, you can do everything like we did with the Switch Pros for all your accessories
Yep.
and stuff like that. And you can even use the Switch Pros for turn signals, lights, and everything.
Yeah.
That's what their motor does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty common around here for our builds.
So when I got back from hell and back, we decided we needed to make something and not replace it with the Rubicon Express one that was just going to bend up anyway. So we designed the TJ Tracer, and that runs a separate cross member for the transmission. So I didn't have to worry about that happening anymore.
Exactly.
And now I can actually remove my skid plate to service everything.
Without having to
Three
unbolt.
sketchy jacks on the transmission. That was my
Yeah.
least favorite thing.
Yeah.
And that's it installed. We're checking for clearances. It flex pretty good. And right when we got done with that, I drove it home and it loaded up and went to the Rubicon.
Mm-hmm.
So. And now the install of the new engine. Went with the 5.3 with the iron block. I got it from Tilted Motorsports. So it worked out good. They put a base tune on it on the engine hoist and engine stand. And then with the Howie, it's self-learning. So after that, you just put it on self-learn for a while, and it you can notice it running better and better and better. Now I found I got it to a spot that's awesome.
Yeah. Which, like on my 4500 card, similar, almost exact same engine management setup. You know, we just left it on like 5-10% self-learn all the time, you know, to adjust for elevation, and it was perfect 24/7. So that was cool.
Yep. Then I went with a Turbo 400 from Maximum Transmissions with a reverse manual valve body. And I kind of built everything from the engine back way overkill in case someday I want to go with the built or LS3 or something. Everything will be able to take it. So. But as of now, I'm very happy with the 5.3 power. So yeah, that's it mounted for the first time. The first of many times. So you got it mounted. It mounted, checking clearances, went with the Kevco F-body oil pan. So we run the remote oil filter, which is super handy.
Oh,
It
yeah.
allowed a lot more clearance for my drive shaft during articulation. I don't know how I would have done it without the remote filter.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. Richard Garrett, our buddy, he kind of helped. He wired basically the entire Jeep. So this is all the wires running. Everything's in place, and we're just kind of buttoning
I
stuff up.
see some coolant lines sitting in there, ready to get plumbed.
Oh yeah, we're getting to the radiator. I guess it wasn't waiting for wiring; it was waiting for me to do the radiator. And there we go. So I did have to mount the Griffin radiator in the back, just because I have a 7-inch stretch up front, and it does sit very low, so it bumps really high, so there was no room for the radiator up front. And it stays nice and cool with that size radiator in the back. So there she is.
Going back together.
Yep. Still there. I think this stuff is doing coolant lines. We went with all batch 20. DEI, we DEI'd everything. So from the headers to exhaust, and this is the muffler kit that they sell. So you cut it to length, it wraps around real tight, and does a great job. And some more lovely radiator shots. And at this point, I was already taking on a big project, so I figured, why not put a new hood on? There's a lot of that happened during this build.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was like 2 weeks where like 5 different parts showed up every day.
Good old Summit.
Yeah. Dash, this is the production dash, so it's super clean, fits together awesome. I'm super pumped about that. The iPad mini goes right in the middle there, which was super helpful in Moab.
Do you have a GPS in now?
I do not.
You don't, yeah.
Save enough for the GPS.
Good man.
But with the iPad, with all the apps they have, I don't even know if
Yeah,
it's
you can
really
get, I
needed.
mean, they have a bunch of those apps
Yeah.
where you can download like the Johnson Valley map and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And what's the one your dad used? Gaia?
I don't know what he uses.
Yeah.
Gaia, and that works super good if you pre-download the maps.
Yeah.
Gaia, Venza.
Yeah, Venza is the other one.
Yep, and you can kind of see the map going on there. We did use our GenRight Quick Disconnect steering hub, PRP steering wheel, and I did finally upgrade to a bigger.
I was
bigger
gonna say you
Howie
got the
screen.
bigger dash, right?
Yeah, bigger screen. A few other things we upgraded on the dash, like the rugged intercom,
Yeah.
and this is the light module. So
Yeah.
all my lighting is controlled there, and my super awesome horn.
Yeah, that's
that
cool.
sounds like Herbie.
I'd never seen that before.
And there's the rugged radio, Switch Pros. And this was super cool. The guys from Rugged actually came out, tuned all our Jeeps, got them dialed in, so
Yeah.
we shouldn't have any radio problems on the trail.
Yeah, that was really
And
cool.
I had never had an intercom system with headsets in my Jeep before. That's a game changer. Those things are awesome.
Yeah.
And then while we're at it, we decided to put 2.5s on all 4 corners, which I still have to do the fronts. So I went from a 12-inch 2.0 shock to a 2.5 Beilstein shock in the rear. So with that, I had to do our larger 3.0 coilover buckets in the
yeah.
rear.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to get that one out was just to chop off the rear section of my frame and make it work.
Yeah. You had it done in like a day though.
Yeah,
was-
weekend, yeah.
Was it a weekend? Yeah.
Yeah. And there they are. So been pretty happy with those. I can't wait to get them out this weekend and rip and test them. And when I get the fronts on, then I'll actually go shock tuning with Beilstein and get them dialed. So I can lap Jordan at Hammer. And there's another close-up of the Resi. It was nice because I was able to get the Resi up out of all the muck coming up and put them in the back of my cage.
Yeah.
And there she is, as is, and we're gonna do a quick walk around of it right now.
Sweet.
And
It's looking good.
what's
a
that?
40-minute walk around?
Well, Jordan's still got to do things.
I don't have much to do.
You got tons to do.
I don't have much
Tons
to do.
Do we have any questions or?
Questions, concerns, comments?
I know Novak sells them, but it kind of depends on it. If it's all custom, you're gonna have to.
It depends on the kit.
Yeah.
That's the problem with not
Yeah.
just sticking with one thing all the way through.
Yeah, so like with ours, obviously, if you had our suspension, you'd want to use our mounts because
Yeah.
it's all made to work together.
Yeah. I think the Novak ones would be the best starting point, though.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe modify them.
2005 TJ, you mentioned that the Rubicon Express belly pan was weak. A weak link and bent. Is the GenRight belly pan with the transmission support stronger?
Yeah, it's a lot stronger.
Much stronger.
And then every time you hit the belly up, it doesn't transfer into your transmission and driveline, which is a big
Big
selling
problem.
point. So, and it's a lot beefier than the Rubicon Express one.
Yeah.
Blaine Peterson, I think he knows, but he said, what motor mounts are you using?
I'm using the Novak Conversions motor mounts.
Kelly Sims, do you use your phone connection for internet connectivity on an iPad for texting and music and answering phone calls?
Is he I guess he's talking about through the intercom.
I think he's talking about through the intercom. Or maybe do you use the hotspot off your phone for your iPad?
Oh, okay. So on the iPad, I bought the cellular service one. But if he's talking about the intercom, that's always connected to my phone for music and stuff.
Brad Taylor on a Jeep TJ should we use the flat or dished PRP steering wheel?
The flat one. If you use the flat one on our steering hub, that's going to put it very close to where your factory steering wheel was.
Unless you want it closer for some reason.
Unless you want it closer, then do the dish one, but I have a feeling you're going to be driving like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Direction of coil over mount bolt. I've seen it both ways. Is there a reason you picked this direction?
Like in the buckets?
I think they're talking about like
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Whichever way is easier to
Well,
get
I was
to.
working with Blaine Peterson. He was helping me with that, and he told me I had to make every bolt that he puts in face the back. So that's why I did it to make Blaine happy. But it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
I think they might be referring to how the rear is mounted. Well, like, you know, one is
Like straight back and one's.
parallel, you know, like to the chassis.
Yeah.
Oh, so like this?
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Even that doesn't really matter.
Maybe we
It's all about. I mean, if that is what he's talking about, it's just about the range of motion you get out of the uniball
Yeah.
in the direction.
Wheelbase.
My wheelbase is 107 inches. I'm stretched 6 inches in the rear, 7 up front. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Who makes the light module?
The little headlight switch.
Racewire Solutions makes it. It's what I'm running. Also, Jamie's running it on Growler. Yeah. What else we got? The more questions you ask, the less I have to babble. So
Yeah.
Should you wait to mount the outboard shocks on 03 TJ till after you stretch, or can you do it before the stretch?
I would wait when you're doing the stretch. What about you?
I would probably wait.
Because
Wait to do what?
wait to outboard your shocks. The question was, should you wait to outboard your shocks before you stretch or after you stretch? I would wait until you're doing the stretch, because you do have to French them into your frame.
You might put it in the wrong spot for when you go to stretch later.
So
yeah.
if you're not stretch, you're going to be Frenching them in right here and cutting into your frame. Then when you go to stretch, you're going to have to probably
cut it out and redo
probably
something.
have to find a rear clip of a frame
Yeah.
to fill in that section.
Basically like what you do.
Yeah.
Basically what Jeff did, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do what Jeff did.
Well, I went with bigger shock towers,
Yeah.
so it actually filled up the gap, and I didn't.
Which 60s?
UD60s. The question was, there's a customer that has the Evo suspension system, and he's thinking about going to the Elite, but he has the UD axles. Yeah, we can definitely make it work. Your best option would be, there's a little modifying to do in one of our brackets for the front third link, but your best option would be to call me, Keith, or Andrew, and we can walk you through exactly which parts you need and what you have to do. And yeah, if you like those axles, they do make a good axle. The question was, what's the bulletproof setup for running 37s?
On a stock set axles?
On a TJ, I mean, you could build a Dana 44, but you're going to be on the limits of a built 44. So the question was, what's the ideal setup? So I'm just going to say Dana 60s front and rear and upgrade to 40s.
Yeah. You can sell your stock axles while
Yeah.
they're in good shape.
Yep.
You can't once they're trashed. Yeah.
No.
Jim Farmer asked how the LS does in low RPM in the rocks.
Does awesome. That's my favorite part about it. You have instant torque.
What does awesome?
Good call, James. The question was, how's the LS do in low RPM while crawling? Does awesome. You have great torque to the whole power band, way more than the 4.0.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. You
that-
got to like stand on the 4.0 just to start moving.
Pretty much. Well, that's how it was. Like anytime I needed momentum, I was just used to flooring it in the
Yeah.
4.0.
Well, and especially like with a 3-to-1 T case, like
Yeah.
you can literally just let it idle and just cruise over stuff.
Yeah. So instant torque in low RPM is just a complete game changer.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to that throttle control though. Example, Widowmaker in Moab.
All right, you're probably good.
All right, let's do a walk around. Let's just start in the engine bay.
Yeah. How?
All right. So I forgot to actually clean this. So it is what it is. So here's the 5.3 we put in. I got it from Tilted Motorsports. They said it only had about 45,000 miles, so it was in great shape. What else did we do? So here's all the wiring. This is the module for the Switch Pros. Nice out of the way on the DEI tunnel shield. Since the radiator's in the back, we have very long hoses.
Yep.
So we put DEI wrap on those as well to keep them nice and cool. Up here we do have a Griffin cooler for the transmission. So, and especially not having the radiator up here, zero transmission temp problems.
Yeah.
What else did we?
And that's a pretty good size cooler. Is that the 12 by 12?
12 by 12.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think they
just
make
their-
one bigger, but I
They
think that's a
do.
little
I think it's like a
overkill.
19 by something. But yeah, for you,
It's probably the
overkill.
one you run, right?
I run basically two of those. Two of those bigger
nice.
ones, yeah, basically.
What else did we do up here?
Did you have to modify the engine skid or anything to fit the 5.3? Because I know you had that with the stock motor.
Yeah, I had a bolt-on one that just kind
okay.
of bolt on there. So I did end up, well, I wasn't even going to do an engine skid until I followed you through, what was it, Spooners and Outer Limits. And we got hung up pretty good. And I just kissed my oil pan.
You're
and
like, okay, it's time.
in the back of my mind, I'm like, first thing I do when I get home, I'm putting an engine skid on.
Yeah.
And I used ours. I did have to modify it a little bit because I run the third link on this side, on the passenger side, and on my drive shaft over here. So I ended up running a whole new cross support
Yep.
and then making it come up to there.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a job, but now I'm happy that I have it.
Yeah.
So.
It's good.
What else are we running? Obviously, the headers are all wrapped with the exhaust all the way back.
What headers are those? Did you get a kit?
Well, the headers you have to buy 2 different kits,
Oh,
and then
to make one.
use one for each. Jamie had to do the same.
He did.
So it exits the rear there, and this is the block header mid dump over here. So, but overall pretty clean. We have the Aeromotive regulator over there, so
Yep.
it's never hard to tell what temperature we're running at.
Yeah.
I haven't done the front shocks yet. I'm waiting for a few springs to come in. But after my springs come in for my new Bielsteins, we'll cut these off. We'll lift them quite a bit because I want to keep the exact same ride height. They're 14-inch to travel, and these I've been wheeling on 12s for a while, so it'll be a little different.
Jeff, someone asked what all you had to do to stretch the front 7 inches forward. They know about the full hydro, but did you have to do anything else?
To stretch the front 7 inches forward, it was quite the task. I did have to go to full hydro. There was a couple options with the full hydro. I could have kind of extended my frame and mounted the box there, but that's just doesn't look as clean.
Yeah.
I know Tony would have probably preferred I do that. He's not a big full hydro guy, but it's worked great for me.
Yeah.
Obviously extend the control arms, drive shaft, all that stuff. The hardest part was just working out the, I don't know, everything. The track bar, making sure everything cleared. And you just got to keep cycling it and making sure it works.
Make sure it's right.
Yeah.
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 Scott Carline asked why 2 sets of headers versus the Tracer set of headers.
Scott Carline, our dealer at Axaboy, my hometown in St. Peters,
There you
Missouri,
go.
he asked why 2 set of headers over the Tracer headers. Because the Tracer headers are actually designed specifically for the LJ Tracer system and their motor mounts. With the LJ Tracer system, it lowers it and it moves the engine over, but that only works if you have our full setup for the Tracer. The Curry axles, you're running the 3rd link on the driver's side, and since I have the 3rd link over there, the drive shaft over here, I still needed my engine to be centered and out of the way. So they wouldn't have worked for me. And that's why. 'Cause everything on the LJ Tracer, the TJ Tracer is more of a builder's kit still, where you don't have to run a body lift and you can, everything ties together.
Just kind of leave it the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but the LJ Tracer kit is very specific. Everything's made for a very specific reason.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Good to see you on, Scott. What else we
Keep
got?
moving around.
Yeah, let's shut this. You know, since I've got to clean it and stuff.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right. And our featured product of the day, we're finally getting to it, is our door bags. Actually just put these on last weekend, so I have not had much storage. Now they're all full and they're
I don't
awesome.
know where's the other hood
So
pin
we have
went.
these for the our TJ doors, our JL doors, and the JK doors that we just saw a first article of today, and they fit those. So super handy, made by PRP, great quality. So pumped to have those on finally. What else we got? This is the dash we did. We did about 3 versions of this, and this now it's dialed in, goes together perfectly. This controls my headlights, blinkers, everything, my horn. Super awesome horn.
That's cute.
Isn't that adorable?
That is cute. I like that.
The Holley display. So that actually, it's pretty cool. It's completely programmable, so you can program anything you want, and it has different pages. So if you wanted to do different gauges on different pages, it does that very well. One thing I don't have tied into there is the transmission temp, so I did run a separate gauge for that. And obviously the iPad there with my Jeep on it, because why would I not
Because
put my
why
Jeep on
not?
it?
Yeah.
A shout out to my buddy Matt Shaddy. He tagged me in Moab with his little sticker. And it just works out great. The whole dash and center console tie together great, and that's all you need. It even has cup holders, Jordan.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So is this the narrower console?
This is the standard one.
Okay, this is the standard one. All right.
The narrow one you only need if you're running an extra wide seat from
Gotcha.
PRP or
Gotcha.
Simpson, but yeah, I was able to make it work with the narrow console.
Cool.
Yeah, so on the end of the Turbo 400, I do have an Atlas 2-speed race case. So
Are you 3-to-1 also?
3-to-1.
3-to-1.
3-to-1. Which I'm thinking about going to, what was it, 3.8 that they have? Because I'm still
Oh, you're gonna go lower.
I might, because I'm still running 488 gears. Because I've never done my front and rear axle at the same time. So,
Makes sense.
or I just redo my gears.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Don't know yet.
I thought going to a
We'll
2-to-1.
keep walking around. Here's my Griffin radiator in the rear. Keeps everything nice and cool. We did, with the rear mounted radiator, it is super hard to get all the air out of the system. So you do have to run a header tank. Luckily, this is off, your old race car, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that is the same radiator.
Luckily, it was specifically made for the radiator that I got
Yeah.
to our spec. And it was sitting upstairs from Jordan's old race car. So we were able to throw this on and works perfectly.
Worked out choice, yeah.
One of the big things we did move the Odyssey batteries into the back, keep them out of the heat.
Yep.
Dual battery setup. I should probably turn off my fuel pump if I'm gonna have it on.
Which is similar to the LJ Tracer stuff. They put the batteries
Couple
right
minor
there behind the
questions.
seats.
Asked, they said they have the same rear shock towers, and they asked about tying them into the cage, if you should, or
Just what length shock do they have?
let me scroll back and find it.
Yeah. All right. So the question was, should you tie your rear shock towers into the cage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Over here? Okay. You can. I only really did this because I went from a 12-inch shock to a 14-inch shock, and to keep my same ride height, I needed to cut through my tub. And once you cut in the tub, it landed on the spot where the plate was here for the cage. So my only option was to tie it into this.
Yeah.
But if you're able to do this without cutting your tub, then I wouldn't. I would just make sure they have a couple gussets on the shock towers themselves.
Yeah.
And you should be fine. Yeah, but that's my 2 cents on that. But to get the 14s on, it was kind of a big job. We pretty much cut off the whole rear section of my frame, fit these. Then we had to adjust the rear section because
To match the body mounts and stuff back up.
Yep, the 3.0 shock towers are quite a bit bigger.
Than the
So
2.0s.
there's not much frame left behind it, but
Yeah.
yep.
Jeff, someone asked, I see you guys offer a couple different degree angles for your lower control arm mounts for the axle. What angle did you use?
The question was, we have a few different angles for degrees for control arm mounts in the front and rear for your axle. I believe I used the 10 degree.
Probably.
I used the 10 degrees for my lowers, and I think my uppers I just used the 0 degree because you can angle those out to shoot them straight to your upper link bracket on the frame side. Yep. But it all depends on what you're running. If you're running a double triangulated system, then call in and we'll set you up with exactly what you need.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Obviously have my Tecton tools.
How do you like the Holly system?
What do you say?
How do you like the Holly system?
Question is, how do I like the Holly system? I love the Holly system. In the long run, it saved a lot of money and time with the self-learning. I didn't have to get it to and from the dyno and get it tuned all the time. So I've been very impressed with the Holly system so far.
Yeah. And it was relatively easy to wire, right?
Yeah, it all comes with plugs. It was basically plug and play.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jacob Bender. He's the one that hooked all that up. Richard wired it. But Bender hooked it up.
Nice.
What else you got, James?
What type of PRP seats do you have?
I have the high back Comp Pros, I believe they're called. And I've had the PRP seats for about 3 or 4 years now, and I really like them. And
They're still hanging in there.
they're still hanging in there. I do have a very high bolster, so sometimes I find myself off camber, and they keep me in there very good. So very happy with it. And then
Sliding because we went too fast in the corner.
shoot, that only happened 2 or 3 times.
07 JKJ, the Daystar inch and 3/4 with flat fenders and 35s this weekend. Also upgrading to the Rock Jock, Correct Link, Drag Link, and tie rod. Anything I should keep in mind before starting? Also, can I wheel and drive from home for the weekend before getting an alignment done?
Okay, now repeat that. That was a really long question.
It was a question. There's a lot of parts to it.
I think the basis of it was, can I drive home before getting an alignment done?
I mean, you can, but you should be able to align it yourself pretty easily and get it relatively close before you drive home.
What's the best way to do that?
James just said that with a little sass.
He did. He's angry.
I'm
He's angry. Someone give this guy a Snickers.
So the best way to do kind of like your self-alignment, I usually just take a thin piece of wood that goes, I don't know, clears the front and the back of their tire, and you measure from side to side. And I think for highway driving, he wants like a 1/4 inch toe in maybe?
Yeah.
Or straight. We run most of ours straight.
Yeah.
So, but you just take those measurements till they're probably straight, and then when you get home, if you feel like you still needed alignment, take it to line. But if you can accomplish that, I'd say he's fine to drive home.
Yeah. It's not going to destroy your tires or anything unless you got some
Crazy misalignment.
extreme angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got, James?
That's it right now. Okay, so someone said, I'm in and out of my rig a lot on the trails. Do you find the PRPs cumbersome at all?
No. I mean, you do have to get up a little. You do have to get a little higher to clear the bolster, but it's well worth it when you're actually wheeling.
Yeah.
So basically, your seats aren't that hard to get in and out of.
They're not. They're not.
Which they make a few different seats too. Some with lower bolsters, like Terremoto. Like that almost doesn't have any.
Yeah, they do make some lower bolster seats, but I really like these because the PRP harnesses come through the side
Yeah.
and not over the top. Because even if you have a lower bolster, it's really hard to get them completely tight when they come over the top.
Yeah.
So that's why I like these. My dad, he actually, one of his comments was how high the bolster was when I was installing them in St. Louis, and he has no problem getting in and out. I mean, he gets around very good, but he has no problem getting in and out, so not a problem. So, any other questions?
That's it right now.
All right. What else we got? I mean, really, I'm just super excited to get out there and rip my new shocks. I even got the AMG sliders on them already.
What muffler are you running?
It is the quietest muffler I could find. It's Magnaflow. I forgot the series. I'll come reply to that after the live. I'll reply to all the questions, but I'll actually even send a link. So.
Do you sit on a phone book so you can see your side mirrors?
Two
That's
phone
Kelly
books.
Sims.
Kelly Sims. No.
You had to really think about that one.
No. Sure don't. They're adjusted perfectly so I can see how far back you are, Kel.
Damn, good answer. That's all we got right now.
All right. Let's. I got a little cheat sheet. There's still a few things I do want to do. Like now that I have my suspension pre-dialed, I do want to get Summit machine arms, aluminum arms. That'll be probably the next thing I do obviously after the front shocks. But I'm excited to get the wheel signs tuned in and ripping. And I'm just excited to get it out there because it's been a lot of work
Yeah.
by everyone.
Aliens Fab 4x4 Dan, what bumps are you using and how long is the slide?
I'm using the Veilstein air bumps.
I think you mean stroke, like 2-inch stroke.
Yeah,
4-inch
so
stroke.
they're 4-inch with a 2-inch stroke. Same spec we spec all our shocks.
Yeah, 4-inch body,
Yeah.
2-inch stroke.
Yeah. So. And right now they're 100 psi, but once we get out there, we might have to kind of adjust that. So. And what else did we do?
Are you gonna have to make any crazy changes that fit the front shocks?
I
You
don't
said
think
towers.
so.
You said towers, right? Front shock towers.
Yeah. So the fronts, I'm gonna have to take off the shock tower, towers, and just not cut them down as much.
Yeah.
And then I do want to try to get them wider on the axle a little bit.
So you might move that mount.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it. I might even put it on the knuckle because I have all kinds of room for this to go up. I have like 5 inches, 6 inches up there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I remember on my 4500 car, we put it all the way up on the C. And it raised the shock itself like an inch, but we got it out as far as possible.
Yeah, which is fine for me because I have tons of room up
Totally.
here.
Yeah,
So
it's all good.
that's the plan.
Cool.
What else did I do? I replaced all my drive shafts with JE reel, so
Nice.
I'm definitely ready to rip now. All the Scotch mounts. I don't know. I'm just really excited to get out there and rip finally. I feel like it's finally buttoned up.
Yeah.
With help from
You've been-
Tony last weekend, we got everything buttoned up, all the small stuff, like a heat shield or DEIing with the heat wrap.
Yeah.
And we made trays to cover my batteries so nothing can.
Arcs out.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah,
That's,
you know.
You know, it's
Arcing out.
It's a bad day when your tool bag comes apart and your batteries start sparking.
I agree.
Tools in the desert.
Yeah. What else am I gonna do?
I've done that a few times.
I have as well.
I don't know how many trips to Harbor Freight I've made to buy new tools.
And then obviously when I get my front shocks on the new towers, then I am gonna do an inner fender.
Cool.
But I don't want to trim the inner fender.
Right now
To
to
these.
this and then change it.
That'd
yeah.
be silly.
That'd be silly. Why do it twice? We can do it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James?
James?
If you were going to start a new build on a stock Jeep, would you start with a TJ, LJ, or JK, and why?
There's a lot of factors there.
That is a tough question.
Do you have a family that you wheels with? If not,
true.
I would start with an LJ all day.
Were there any compromises you made during your build and that you wish you could go back and redo?
During this time around?
I don't know.
Sure.
Absolutely not. There were no compromises this time around.
Do you regret the steps you took? Do you wish you just started with this the first time?
Oh, like my first build?
Yes, going all the way back.
I do wish I would have just did it right the first time, but I feel like you learn so much about
You do.
wrenching, what works, and especially driving. Like
Yeah.
the guys that start on 35s out there in the trails and the weekend warriors and work their way up to like 40-inch stickies, that you just learn so much more about driving and stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's true. There's a learning curve, but
with that said,
it's a lot of work and a lot of money to do
I
it
was
that
gonna
way.
say, do I wish I had all the money back of
Yeah.
all the crap I spent
Yeah.
it on? Absolutely.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
What axle shafts do you have that could take all that bouncing up full throttle? And doing it?
That sounds like a question from Tommy Dykstra.
Yep.
I think in the rear I actually have Dutchman axle shafts. And the fronts are Yukons. So, and the axles are made by M West Motorsports. I'm running a high pinion 60 front kingpin from them and a rear Dana 60 high pinion that they custom made me. It has Dutchman inners, I run ARBs, and then a lot of spider track stuff on the axle as well. So the test definitely was Widowmaker. We pulled everything. I pulled off the diff last weekend, inspected everything, passed in flying colors. So, yeah. But keep in mind, Tommy, my Jeep's a lot lighter than your JKU. What else we got, James?
Someone asked what Money Pit Classifieds is.
Did Mark ask that?
No.
Money Fits Classifieds is a site where you can post all your cool Jeeps, trailers, and race stuff for sale.
Yeah,
There's
parts, complete vehicles,
Yep,
project
they're,
vehicles, motorhomes, trailers,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think there's a few Ultra 4 cars for sale on there right now if
Yeah.
anybody's looking to get into racing.
Yeah.
A bunch of people say thank you for the swag packs and they like your shirt.
Thanks. You're welcome, but you should really thank Tony. So I will pass along your gratitude.
Yeah. Message him.
Oh, I keep forgetting where the camera is.
Who did the tune for your Holly?
Tilted Motorsports did the tune for my Holly. They put a bass tune on, and then everything else was self-learned. And you feel the engine running smoother and smoother every week.
Every day
And
almost.
I mean, you'd cut the time in half. I was driving at 1.8 miles to and from work.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and ripping around a
Yeah,
little
if you
bit.
drove for 20 minutes, you'd see a difference.
Yeah.
right away.
A lot quicker.
Yeah.
Couple of comments. Like, are your tags up to date?
No.
No.
Fine. We can
Don't
The
ask
comment
me.
was my tags on my plate up to date?
Probably not.
That's a no.
It's a hard no.
Next question. How much does your TJ weigh?
The question is, how much does my TJ weigh? And the answer is, I have no idea. We need to get out the scales, weigh it, but it cannot weigh a lot.
I want to weigh mine too. That
Huh?
might be right after this.
Okay, well, maybe me and Jamie will weigh our Jeeps tonight, and
Here-
I'll count it back.
Here's a loaded question.
I don't.
What all is in your toolkit when you're on the trail?
The question was, what all is in my toolkit when I'm on the trail? I actually carry a couple sets from Technin Tools, and also I have a tool roll with very specific size wrenches, which was for my old build. So now I'm pretty much carrying everything, and then I can wean out stuff
Yeah.
as I know what I'm gonna
As you
need.
go.
So. Yeah, Jamie's got the LJ though, so he's got more room. So I'm just gonna count on him to bring all the tools. Yeah.
The high pinion rear axle, does it have a custom cut ring gear for it to be in the back rather than the front?
It's not custom cut. They did put a load bolt in and a high fill plug, and it's been great. They actually, the axle builder actually talked to Spicer about it, and then Spicer tested it on the reverse side, and it passed. So, and obviously it's been working pretty good for me. It's gotten up back door. It's been through a few shocks.
So that's Bob Happy asked, what's on your wish list for things you want to add to your Jeep?
What are on the wish list? Wish list are Summit machine control arms. That might happen fairly soon. Get my front dialed up. At some point, I do want to run wider axles, so I don't know what that looks like. I might actually just get mine retubed to 70 inches wide, which is GenRight spec, and it give me a little more room for the 2.5s, and I could also move the shock mounts out a little bit. But besides that, I just really want to wheel the crap out of it this year and worry about that wish list maybe next year. That's all we got? Yeah. All right, well.
I think you're good, unless you have something else to talk about.
I don't know. Should we fire it up real quick and then go into Jordan?
Yeah, fire it up.
Brake stand?
I
Brake
heard
stand.
someone say brake stand. Cold start brake stand.
I'm scared
That's
of
what I
brake
heard.
stands.
I heard cold start brake stand.
The suggestion was do a brake stand. Only time I tried to do a brake stand, I blew a front brake line because I nicked it with the grinder.
That was pretty funny.
So
That was funny.
I know the brakes are good now, but we're still not going to do that because
You
that'd
can
be
just drive
really
it up into the
embarrassing
wall
on
and do
camera.
it. That'd be really embarrassing on camera.
So it's got a way deeper sound, and it's still very manageably quiet. And yeah, no brake stands. All right, Jordan, tell us what you've been up to.
Hang on, I'm eating some Skittles right now.
That wasn't in the script.
I thought you were gonna let it run for longer.
Someone said if you can jump it, you can do a brake stand.
Yeah.
Not right here.
Don't give me the pressure.
I'll do it after the show. We'll tape it and we'll post it. What you been up to, Jordan?
What was I gonna talk to or talk
Wait,
about?
wait, are you running Prairie Johnny joints or Heinz?
I'm running both because I originally did Heim joints. I'm in the process. I've changed 90% of them out to Johnny joints. And I still have Heims on the front axle side of my lower control arms. And they're just a different bolt size. So I need to get weld-on washers and swap those out. But I prefer the Johnny joints.
Do you have to go up a bolt size or down a bolt size?
Down. Otherwise, I drill them.
It's okay.
It's okay.
What have I been up to? Been building a lot of roll cages for GenRight.
Yeah.
Been working on race car.
What have you been doing to the race car?
We'll talk. Well, not quite yet, but I think it was last week. Dad and I went out to Lake Elsinore for that Fox Experience Day. That was super cool. We learned a lot about, everything from literally stock Jeep JK shocks all the way up. They made us ride in 4 different vehicles, one with...
They made you? They were
Yeah,
like, you
they were
riding
like,
this?
you have to,
Oh, okay.
or you're fired.
Tough job.
And I'm like,
You
okay.
have to ride in Jeeps.
Yeah, it was horrible. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was cool. It was cool. Well, the ride in the stock JK was, in fact, horrible.
I think you posted video of that. You were
It was
bouncing around
literally,
like crazy.
I hit my head because I forgot to put my seatbelt on, and I was in the middle back
Well,
seat.
then I don't think it did much damage.
No, I didn't. I don't have many brain cells left, but hit my head on the roof, the hard top, like 3 times in the middle, the back middle
man.
seat.
But it got better and better, right?
It got, dude, like literally even from stock to the Performance 2.0 series, just bolt-on Jeep JK shocks was like night and day difference. And then they let us ride in everything up to the factory. I think it was 3.0 race series bolt-on shocks for a JT. And Casey Cray was driving. That was cool. That thing rode so cool. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by this.
Yeah, me too,
This
Arnold.
JL about to crawl over to me. But yeah, did that at Elsinore. That was awesome. Huge thanks to those guys. They gave us Chick-fil-A after, which just, oh my God, it was so good. I don't get to eat Chick-fil-A very often, but it was good. But
You can never pass up the Mongolian place.
well, yeah, I mean, they should have catered Mongolian, but otherwise it was pretty good. But yeah, been working a race car. We'll talk about that more probably in the next couple weeks. I'm not going to say a
Yeah.
whole lot yet. But it's going to be cool. That's all I'm going to say for now.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything yet. Other than the car is not assembled or really here. It's kind of here.
It's all over the place.
It's, yeah, that's all we'll talk about for now.
All right.
Jeff, one more question. When you swap,
Where'd my Skittles go?
what all differences did it make? I currently have all Heims, and I'm wondering what to expect when I swap into my daily driver.
The biggest thing is the Johnny joints are quiet. The Heims are squeaky like crazy. You could hear me coming on an obstacle 3 Jeeps behind you. Even, I mean, you can grease them as much as you want, but the Heims are quieter and they take a little more shock out of it. So just a little smoother in the cab.
Is it that time?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
It is that time. Well,
Time
thanks for
flies when you're having
watching.
fun.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.